Hello guys, welcome to another video on this AWS. We are going over, we're trying to get certified for the AWS Solutions Architect, and this is for the associate level. And we are going to do some roles lab, and this one is going to involve compute and also the IAM, or the Identity Access Management. And we are going to talk about roles. And role is an IAM entity that defines a set of permissions for making AWS service requests. Roles are not associated with a specific user or group. Instead, trusted entities assume roles such as users, applications, or AWS services such as EC2. So we are going to be assigning a role to an EC2. So let's go ahead and go into the AWS Management Console. And let's go ahead and first of all, before we do this, we need to create a bucket so we can see it. ccd.com. That's going to be my bucket name. Let's go ahead and just create it. There we go. So just go ahead and create a bucket. You're going to see why we need a bucket later on. And then let's go ahead and go into EC2. If you don't know how to go into EC2, you go to Services, Compute category, and then EC2. Um, Actually, before we do that, we need to go ahead and create a role. So we got to go into the Identity Access Management. And the way that you get there is you have to go to the Security, Identity, and Compliance category and then go into right here, IAM, Identity and Access Management. And we are going to create a role. And the role that we're going to create is going to be for a EC2 service. So we are going to select that. And then we are going to click Next. And over here, we need to assign a policy that we want to assign to that role. And I want to assign this role a policy to administrator access. And it's going to have full access to AWS services. Tag, we don't need to, let's just have a tag. Why not? Name, full access. There we go. And then we go review. The name of the role is going to be admin access. And we can put the same right here in the role description. Create the role. There we go. So we have created our role. After we do that, we need to go into EC2. So we got to go to the category of compute, then EC2. And we're going to launch a EC2. And there we go. Click on launch. We're going to select the first one. We're going to select the free tier one. And we're going to click on next, configure instance details. And from here, we need to go ahead and select the role. So from over here, you can see that identity and access management role. We need to select the one that we just created, which is this one. Or let me see how we're going to do this. Actually, let's just not assign a role yet. We're going to assign it later on. Categories, all that good stuff is good. Let's just go and review and launch. Just launch it. And we're going to use that key pair that I still have, acknowledge that I still have it. There we go. Let's go ahead and view instances. And there we go. It is in the pending state. So let's just go ahead and give it a couple seconds. So it can go ahead and go into the running state. And also, let's see where we are. We have a security group, which is the launch wizards one. And you can go over here, down here, and you can go into security groups. And here's the security group attached to it. Also, if you want to buy an elastic IP address, an elastic IP address is a static public address because by default, all your instances launch with a dynamic public address. Therefore, whenever you stop and start your EC2, it's going to get a new IPv4 IP address. And if you want to just get a static one, you can go ahead into elastic IP. Let's go ahead if the instance is up and running. There we go. Now the instance is up and running. we are going to right click on it. We are going to connect to it. Copy this command. Let's go ahead into my command line and we're going to go into my downloads because that's where my key is. We're going to paste this and it is not connecting me to it yet. Let's see. Okay, the status check, it is still initializing. Let's go ahead and refresh. So this is still running some checks and let's see what else we can talk about until this starts working. Let's go ahead and do Control C to stop it. Security groups, let's see what we have access to. So let's go ahead into the security group action. We can even edit the tags, edit inbound rules. Let's see what inbound rules we have. So the inbound rules that we have is SSH, TCP protocol port 22, and it is allowing any IPv4 IP. So that's good. Let's see what are the outbound rules. So the outbound is all. So we're allowing all traffic to go out and just SSH to come in. Let's go ahead if the instance is up and running. It's still initializing. Um, what else we can talk about? Let's go ahead and talk about the um, let's go ahead and go into monitoring. We're not going to see anything going on because I do not have any connections to my EC2 instance, and that's why we don't see any monitoring. But this monitoring comes from CloudWatch, and if you want to monitor a lot more, you can go ahead and create alarms on CloudWatch. On my previous video, I did create a CloudWatch alarm, and you can see how I created that if you go to my previous video, and you can go ahead and watch it and enjoy that video. It is a really good video. What I did was I launched a EC2 machine. Then I created an alarm saying that whenever my CPU utilization goes over 90% to send me an alarm. And after it went over 90%, I received a email saying an email with the alarm saying that my CPU utilization went over 90%. So if you want to go ahead and take a look at that video, it is a really good video. And also, if you are enjoying my video and if you have a Twitter account, you can go ahead and follow me on Twitter at CCNA Daily Tips if you have a Twitter account. And if you don't, you should have one. Go ahead and create one and then follow me on Twitter, CCNA Daily Tips. Still up and running. Let's see if we're anyways able to connect to it now. There we go. Now we're able to connect. Let's just say yes. So now from over here, let's go ahead and make this. Can we make this bigger? View, zoom in. There we go. I think you guys are going to be able to see this a lot better. So from over here, I want to go into my home and I am in the home, just making sure that I am there. Let's go ahead and clear this. There we go. So what I want to do is I want to go into AWS S3 and list the buckets that I have. And as you can see, we do not have any credentials to list those S3 buckets, as you can see right now. And we also, if you do an ls, you're not able to see that hidden AWS folder that we want to delete, and that's where my credentials are stored. And what I want to do is I want to go into the cd.aws, and it is saying that I don't have that directory. Let's go ahead and do sudo aws cd.aws. There is no such file as .aws. Huh, interesting. Let's see if we could go ahead and try to remove it. -rf.aws. There we go. And now what I want to see if I'm able to AWS S3 ls, and I'm still not able to see those S3. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and attach a role, the role that I created, and that role has full access permission um, to do anything on my AWS. So let's go ahead and go into instance settings. And what we want to do is we want to attach or replace an IAM role, an identity access management role. and we are going to select the one that we just created. We're going to apply it, close it, and now let's go ahead and go into that um, AWS S3 LS, and it is still unable to locate my credentials. You can't configure credentials by running AWS config. So let's go ahead and do an AWS configure, but I do not have a key. So let's go ahead and just cancel that. Even though, there we go. So now, um, since my role, it just took a couple seconds um, for that role to kick in, but now you can see that I'm able to see the S3 bucket that I created. It just took a couple seconds for the role to get activated, but now you can see that we can see the bucket that we created. And let's see if we're able to see the AWS CD. There's no file directory because I think I deleted it with that command. Okay, so as you can see now, we are able um, to see that bucket, the AWS S3 bucket. Let's see if we're able to AWS um, make bucket S3. Let's go ahead and create a new bucket. And let's just go ahead and give it a weird name. Um, it is saying that invalid choice. We're like interested here. Um, doing AWS. What's the command that I run? AWS and B. So I forgot to. I need to put S3 right here. And as you can see, I have created that bucket. And if you want to see the buckets, you can go ahead and do a AWS S3 LS. You can see my two buckets over here. So it is working. I'm able to add buckets and delete buckets. Let's go ahead into my buckets, my S3 buckets. If you open that, you can see that those two buckets were created. And also, if you go over here and actually, let's go ahead and remove that row. So if we remove that row, let's say none, just detach it. So what's going to happen now, since I removed that row that had full access to AWS, what's going to happen is now I won't be able to list any roles, and also I won't be able to create any S3 buckets. As you can see, unable to locate credentials because I do not have any credentials attached to it. I detach that row to it. So that's how you can do roles and do and give access to your EC2 by doing roles, which is kind of cool. So you don't have to like create users and create credentials or anything like that for it. You can use add roles and detach roles, or attach roles and detach roles to the EC2 and also to other um, or to other AWS services such as EC2 like we did right here. And this is it for this video, guys. I just wanted to show you how you can use roles to attach to an EC2 and give permission to that EC2. So thank you guys for watching this video, and on the next video we are going to configure a bootstrap on an EC2. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.